Hello, how are you? My name is Chad Allen, and today we are going to be discussing one truth about your immune system that you never heard before, and does why does the health departments and other healthcare professionals don't tell you about it? So this is what we're going to do, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Chad Allen, and I'm a master's preparing nurse. So I am a registered nurse, and I'll tell you a little bit about my story because I really want you to understand where I am coming from and why I believe in what I am about to tell you, because I believe that it's going to affect you in a very, very positive way. So I'm a registered nurse by trade, like I said, at Masters Prepared. And several years ago, my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she was 30 weeks pregnant at the time. So she was pregnancy induced breast cancer, and you can imagine the amount of the amount of stress and pressure that you have when you are when you just find out that that your wife has breast cancer. There's tons of decisions that have to be made. There are so much going on. So anyway, as time went on, my wife decided to not have any procedures done because she wanted our daughter to have a healthy delivery. And so she decided to have the healthy delivery, and my daughter was born. And then, unfortunately, 9 months after the birth of our daughter, my wife passed away. She died. So from that point forward, I looked forward a something that would really help people, uh, really defeat or really find ways to help them against these types of illnesses, where they can have a longer life to live, where they can really get healed from the various ailments that they are fighting against. And I really believe that I personally have found that particular supplement, because I have seen so many people become very healthy with it. And this is something that I found that really helps you to optimize your immune system, and it helps you to strengthen your immune system, and in such a way that if you were to get something like the COVID-19, it will help to educate and help educate and respond, and remember these past attacks, so you don't have it again. So basically, what happens is you are having a vaccination, so to speak. But I want to share with you the one truth that many of these healthcare professionals don't tell you, because there's really a truth to all of this that you really need to gain an understanding from. So, especially when it comes to COVID-19. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about COVID-19 and I believe what I believe to be the case. And this the year 2020 has been filled with so much uncertainty, has been filled with so much anxiety, has been filled with the politicization of a virus when it should not really be politicized. But yet here we are. It's politicized by both sides of the aisle, but more so from one side than the other. And what they tell you is that you get these different health departments from different states that are making all of these rules and regulations, and then they issue certain mandates like mask mandates, and they try to tell you that you have to wear a mask. You have to wear a mask, because if you don't wear a mask, you're going to get sick. So people are left with this idea that when they wear a mask, that they will not get sick, and that is just completely untrue. It is quite untrue, because you can still get sick if you wear a mask, if you wear a face shield, you can still get sick. So these health departments are spreading a lie to many, many people, stating that they will not get sick if they wear a mask. Now, granted, there are some health departments out there that will say, no, you can still get sick if you wear a mask, but we ask that you wear a mask because you will reduce your chances. Well, that's fine because you might reduce your chance of getting COVID-19 if you were to wear a mask. But wearing a mask in of itself is not going to keep you from getting sick. It's just common sense, you know. Especially if you wear a mask for like if you wear the exact same mask all the time, do you and you're getting and it's getting wet and it's becoming more permeable and the bacteria is growing because it got wet, but you're still wearing the mask. So how does that mask going to protect you when you have already been exposed to something? So it basically grows and then you're breathing in that stuff. So I find it offensive as a health professional myself when I hear uh, other health professionals try to force uh, or other citizens trying to force other people to wear a mask when they are not wanting to. A mask is indeed a medical device. And since it is a medical device, it can also either help stop the spread of something or protect you, or it can also limit your if it limits your breathing or whatnot. There are many things that a medical device, this type of medical device, the mask can do it. So you have to be able to think for yourself and do what is right for you, and not listen to the zealots that are out there trying to control the narrative of everything, trying to tell you that you have to wear a mask or that you have to do this or you have to do that. At the end of the day, it's your choice because we have medical freedom. This is America. And in America, we have medical freedom to dictate the kind of treatment that we are wanting to have so that we are so that whatever treatment it is, we are satisfied with it, right? We are satisfied with the results. You know, if we were to go into a hospital and they forced a treatment on you, what happens with that hospital? They get sued. They can get held in for kidnapping or whatever it is that they can do. They can really get in a lot of trouble for that. Not only the hospital, but the doctors and the nurses. So, what makes this medical mask any different from what you have seen or heard before? So I find a lot of hypocrisy when it comes to the mask because you go into a restaurant and you're expected to wear a mask to walk into the door, but once you get to the table, you're taking it off to eat anyway, so nobody's wearing a mask at the table. So what is the difference between someone walking in without a mask versus someone who is sitting at the table without wearing a mask? So there's a lot of hypocrisy taking place. And so before I move on, because I'm going to talk about the immune system and how it helps you, and we'll get into what it is that these healthcare professionals don't really want you to know, because these health departments in all of these states, the governors, whatnot, they're spreading fear among a lot of people, and they should not be spreading fear to all of the people when in fact it is something that you can really work with your work with what you have already. So so before we get started, you can go to chadallan.net, chadallan.net, and you can check out my blog there, or you can also get my freebie there as well. Just click on the banner below. Also, you can go to chadallan.net/freebie, FREEBIE, and you can get my free survival immune system guide there. And I think you will find it to be very helpful for you, and you'll get a lot of benefit from it. So you should go there and download that for yourself. So let's go ahead. Let's continue. So what do we do? Because if these masks are supposed to be the quote unquote savior of everything that we that we do because we have to wait on a vaccine or whatever it is that they are trying to purport on you as a citizen or on you as a health person. So, what is it that you have to do in order uh, to get out of the wearing these masks, right? So, at the end of the day, it's really going to come down to the politicians that we elected into the office because unfortunately they control the narrative. You either show a little bit of civil disobedience by not wearing a mask where you're supposed to where they say you're supposed to wear it, or you abide and just wait for them to release you from whatever. Now, does that mean that if you don't wear a mask or wear a mask, are you a bad person? No. Just, but if you don't wear a mask or you wear a mask, that is your personal choice, your medical freedom choice that you have as an individual. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I want to show you why here in just a second. You see, whenever we get sick, we have a couple of choices that happen, right? We can either wait it out and allow our immune systems to work, or we allow our immune system to work, but we go to the doctor and get an antibiotic or an antiviral or something else. Or we go straight to the doctor at the first sign of having a sniffle, and we don't give time for the immune system to work, but we get what we need from the doctor. That is probably going to be an antibiotic in most cases, and then you get sent home. And in more severe cases, of course, you go to the doctor or you go to the hospital, and they put you on the fluids. They give you the medicines that you need, and then after a day or two, you are released from the hospital. In the case of COVID, if you have severe cases, of course, you go to the hospital and they keep you there. Or if you have COVID and you have no symptoms at all, they want you to quarantine for so many days, and then you're stuck at home. You're not able to work, not able to do anything because of being quarantined because of the quote unquote pandemic. So, what are things that you can do as an individual to help you? So when I think of health, and I think that you should think of it this way as well, is that when we think of our bodies, we need to really think about our immune system and how it works. Because in reality, the immune system is the key aspect of things, right? You go to the doctor, the doctor cannot tell your immune system to get you healthy. The doctor cannot tell your immune system to get you sick or anything like that. Really the immune system. The only thing that a doctor does, or even a nurse does, is that they give you the tools needed in order for your immune system to fight off any kind of illness. This is true with any supplement that you take. This is true with any medicine that you take. And this is definitely true with any kind of medical procedure that is taking place. At the end of the day, it's your body's and how your body responds, your immune system, how it responds to particular viruses or bacterial infections or whatever it is that's taking place. It's how your body is responding to the particular thing that's going to dictate how sick you really get. So if you can imagine, the healthier your immune system is, the less likely that you will receive symptoms from mild or light or whatever conditions. So for those who are asymptomatic with the COVID-19, or those who have light symptoms or even mild symptoms, their immune system is strong enough in order to prevent severe reactions that are taking place in some people who are getting this particular this particular virus. Well, this is also true for the common cold, or for people who develop into the flu or whatever. It's because your immune system was able to stop it before you have the really bad symptoms. So Why is that the case? Well, it's because what I just discussed a little bit earlier, and I'm going to show you more about this particular uh, idea that is. I'll show you more. So, if we are becoming more overprotective over our immune system, so for example, everywhere we go, we are wearing masks. We put ourselves in a bubble. We stay at home. We do whatever. So, what are we doing in order to assist our immune systems to be optimized to the point where if an illness or if a virus or a bacteria does attack us, that it can quickly get rid of it without us knowing about it. So the fact is, when we overprotect ourselves, whether it be with the mask, the face shields, or whatever, when we overprotect ourselves, we are damaging, we are handicapping our immune systems from operating at the optimal level it can. Because and as us discussed before, when a microbe attacks the body, your immune system immediately kicks into high gear. It it's going around and it's got these soldiers, and these foot soldiers are going around and say, "Oh, there's something there. What am I going to do? I need to contact the um the captain." So it contacts the captain, right? And the memory cells come, "Boo," and at the same time, while all at the same time, the the immune soldiers are trying to defeat and trying to learn and trying to get rid of this thing. Well, the foot soldiers, if it's something they can't handle, it's like, okay, we have to call it in the cavalry. So they sent in the B cells and the memory T cells and the cytotoxic cells. All this stuff is coming into works in your body, and it's destroying this particular microbe that has attacked. Well, guess what? Guess what else your immune system is doing? Well, it's killing this thing. It's learning about this particular microbe, and it's also learning how to fight it next time if it were to come to your body. This is why many times if you were to get sick with the flu, you probably will not get sick with the flu again because you've already had that particular strain of flu. So it's like getting a vaccine, the flu vaccine. When you take the flu vaccine, the general idea is to inject your body with the dead virus, and your immune system learns about that, so it can stop that particular strain of flu viruses. Now, there's only 4 strains. So what if you don't? If you get the other 4, if you get one that's 4, yeah, you're probably protected. But the 5th one that has a different strain, guess what? It has to. That's when you start getting the symptoms and whatnot. Anyway, so if your body is not if you're not allowing your body to be exposed to these microbes such as COVID, or if you're always face covering, if you're always putting face shields or whatever, how is your immune system ever going to be optimized to fight against this type of things? And this is something that you're not told um, with these Department of Health, with these other entities that are out there, because I mean, why would they tell you? They can make a lot of money. You go to the hospital, you get charged what, $2,000-3,000 at a time. You go to a doctor, you get in charge $140, $150, $200, for that trip. You go to whatever, you go and get the medicine. So they're happy because you got medicine. You're happy because you got a medication to help fight whatever it is. But they don't tell you that that it's good for you, for your immune system, to be exposed to these type of things. You're exposed every day anyway. All the time you're exposed to microbes. Everything you touch, everything you breathe in, everything, if you touch something, you touch your mouth, you whatever it is, you're you probably have a bacteria that has touched you. You're filled. Your body is filled with bacteria. It's good bacteria because it fights off the bad ones, but it's still that you still have bacteria on your body, right? So your immune system is very key to having an optimized immune system. And in many cases with cancer, so I'll go back to my wife. In many cases with cancer, I found in my own little research is that cancer is oftentimes immune response, and it's oftentimes caused by many different factors, whatever that. Some cancers are slow growing versus some cancers are very aggressive. My wife, unfortunately, had a very aggressive cancer. So, typically it's an immune response that's caused by something. Now, my wife, what happened with my wife is that she was stressed a lot. She had a lot of stress in her life, and she also battled depression. So her immune system was already weakened because of those two factors. And so it allowed, in my opinion, it allowed the cancer to develop and to really begin to build. And when she was pregnant, the hormones of the pregnancy really exploded the cancer growth, and it's why that she, unfortunately, even with chemo, half chemo, doing the chemo and other natural type stuff, the immunotherapies that they offer. Uh, Unfortunately, these are things that never really helped her. It helped her a little bit, but then it would just be like a complete reset. It would just completely recess, and then, it would completely, it would just keep building up. It wouldn't do anything for her. So yeah, so you have to fight that stuff, right? With conventional type medications and other means. The conventional, the natural, you're hitting it all at one time because that's something that you really need to get rid of quickly, right? You're trying to get rid of it quickly because it's dangerous. It scares you. It scares you absolutely to death. But when it comes to things like COVID-19 and things like the common cold or the flu or whatever, these are things that could typically be um, treated either with basic vitamin C or zinc, or it could be treated with other types of you know I would say like I want you can say medication, but typically with the common cold, even with the COVID-19 and the flu, these are typically viral infections, and there's not really much you can do with it unless they have like an antiviral there already. Or if the flu is a bacterial infection, then they can give you like a an antibacterial medication, so an antibiotic, right? So it just depends on what how severe. Like, so if you're so like this, like, what happens if I get sick? Well, obviously, if you get sick and your symptoms are severe enough, you need to go see a doctor. And that's true with anything. Like if you're taking something like a natural, like a vitamin C or zinc, but yet your symptoms are not improving, yeah, you need to go to a doctor. I mean, that's common sense. But in most cases, uh, things like the vitamin C or zinc or what I also take, immune messengers, will help you dramatically in these situations because you are you're giving your body something that it needs to help boost the immune system in order to fight against these particular things that are taking place. So when my wife died, 9 months after my daughter was born, I really sought for a way to help people with their health. To help in it so they can keep it at bay for as long as possible. And so I came across this company, this product that helped with the immune system. And I was really intrigued by it because as a nurse, I knew that, we need to take care of our immune system and to strengthen it as much as possible. And so I was really interested in learning more about this. They come to find out that this thing, immune messengers, not only helps the body to boost the immune system, it helps the immune system to remember past attacks and helps it to respond better, but it transfers immunity from one cell to another, or from one source to another. So, for example, if I were to take these immune messengers, and these immune messengers come from parts of cow colostrum and egg yolk, then that immunity that is there already, remember, it's being transferred to me. But then at the same time, what's happening is, because I'm getting a microbe attack, that immunity that is being gained from that microbe is also being learned and also being transferred to my cells. So we have this transfer immunity, and they're taking place all over the place within our body because of immune messengers, and your body has them already. But the problem is, what happens is, um, your immune system gets knocked down, gets knocked down, gets knocked down, gets knocked down, and sometimes it cannot, and it's not running optimal like it used to, especially as you age. When you start getting older and older and older, your immune system becomes weaker and weaker and weaker, and you can't respond. So what immune messengers does, it provides your body with the fuel, with the proteins, and with the peptides it needs to transfer immunity, to remember, to respond, and to react against these particular bacteria and viruses. So basically, what's happening is that you are allowing your body to have natural vaccination against things like the COVID-19. Yeah. So let's say you get COVID-19, but you're asymptomatic. You don't know that you're asymptomatic, but guess what? You have the COVID-19 thing. So the immune messengers helped keep you healthy during that situation, and it has remembered that particular virus, so that when you got it again, guess what? It knows how to fight against it. So you may have gotten COVID-19 like a couple of times, but not even know it. Or if you did have symptoms, it was quickly dealt with, and gotten away with. And I'm so amazed by this particular product, because what happens is there have been people who, especially doctors and healthcare professionals in the Philippines, where they have taken the immune messengers, they have prescribed it to their patients, and they've all stated that it has helped them and their patients recover very, very quickly from the COVID-19, or other uh, infections that happen. So sometimes, you take these immune messengers with other things as well, and it will help the same way. So let's say you built up uh, let's say that you built up a resistance to methicillin, and then you have to get on vancomycin. Well, what happens is because that's basically an immune response, right? You developed a resistance to a particular drug, and your body can no longer respond, or your immune system no longer responds because it has built up uh, certain a certain resistance to that particular medication. Well, typically when you take the immune messengers, it will help stop that resistance. And I've seen this, I have seen and I read about this so many times. Where someone who is methicillin resistant, they were able to take methicillin again because they were taking immune messengers at the same time, and therefore it allowed the medication to work. But the same thing happens in other areas too. So typically, when someone who has a particular um, resistance to a medication, well, when they take immune messengers, guess what? It can really help them in that area. And perhaps immune messengers is the answer to fighting against these types of things in the future. And it's something that many doctors are already prescribing, especially in other countries. I'm not sure about the United States, but I know in other countries, immune messengers are really used as a way to help fight against these type of things, and you'll hear more and more about it. I believe in the coming future as we continue to learn more and more about what it takes to be healthy, to have a strong immune system, and to fight against these particular viruses and bacterial infections that are plaguing us as human beings. So I want to thank you so much for being on the call tonight. You can go to my weblog at chadallen.net, CHADALLAN.net, and you get my freebie there. My freebie, it talks all about this, about immune um, the immune system and the response, and also it's a great guide because it gives you even more tips. What you haven't seen here already, it goes in more detail for you. And I want to thank you so much for being on the call. That is chadallen.net/freebie, FREEBIE, Chad Allen, CHADALLAN.net/freebie, and you can get everything there. I want to thank you so much for being here, and we will see you on Monday. Take care. Bye bye.